beautiful soul. Welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. This podcast is a vortex for activating wealth, riches, and boss bitches. It is here that I teach multi-dimensional business. Our content will fall under 3 different categories: 5D quantum creation, 4D frequency alchemy, and the most potent 3D strategy. Every aspect of business that contributes to the creation of success is covered here. Plus, I will be personally interviewing the most amazing boss bitches that are at the forefront of the game, paving the way for money, magic, and magnetism in business. Let's get ready to activate all of that within you. Hello, amazing human. Welcome to this episode of the Quantum Business Queen podcast. Today, I want to talk about the sacred exchange of money. I really think this is an important conversation, just like all the conversations we have. But this one's coming up at the moment because I have just launched my magic manifestation and marketing container, and a lot of questions are coming up, and it's really cool to bring about more powerful awarenesses around money and the exchange of money, and having so many paradigm flips around all of this. But before I get into all of it, I want to tell you guys a story, and some of you may have heard this story already, of course. For those who follow me, know my journey, know most of my stories, but new ones come through all the time. So this is an old one, however. But when I first powerfully invested in myself, and when I say powerfully invested in myself, it was the scariest decision I ever made up until that point. So let me set the stage if you're new around here. It was just at the beginning of 2020. So if you know what was going on around that period of time, the world was flipping upside down. Everybody was riddled in worry and fear and the unknown. Everything was getting shut down. People were losing their jobs and dropping into scarcity. And the whole world was just kind of, like sitting on the edge of its seat, wondering like what the heck was going to happen. And my soul guided me to this mentor and said to me, okay, this is the next step. Like, you really want to create freedom in your life. You really want to create a lot of money and powerful impact. This is the next step for you. And I know my higher self doesn't make the journey easy sometimes, because I need to be calibrated. I need to be coded as a powerful leader. And in order to do that, tough decisions are required. In the next few episodes coming up, I'm going to tell you about another thing that I'm navigating at the moment that required such crazy aligned bravery, but it's changed my life already. So I just wanted to plant the seed that the journey is amazing and delicious and powerful and expansive, but in order to step into those experiences, 100% hard decisions are required. And so I was led to this amazing mentor, and it was at the height of COVID, when everything was happening, when the world was being turned upside down. And I had a call with her, which went for over an hour. And at the end of the call, she's like, right, okay, well, the investment is $33,000. And I was like gulp. At that point, my business had been making it would go like dip into 5K range. Then on a good month, it would be 8K. And then on a bad month, it would be, like 3K. And then I'd go up to 10K, and it was totally inconsistent. And again, I was really navigating a lot of the unknown. At that point as well, COVID had hit. So I was operating as a kinesiologist. I used to work in person and I'd work online. Luckily, I had some online clients at that point in time, but I lost half of my income. And just to set the stage even further, my husband at the time, who was a musician, lost all of his gigs. He luckily had a teaching job 3 days a week, but the majority of his income was his music. So he lost all of his gigs. I lost all of my in-person clients, and to make it even more scary and more risky for me, we had just bought a house. And here we are losing the majority of our income. And the way we were able to buy that house is we had a bridging loan that was leveraging the equity in the first house we ever purchased. And so If we were to default on the loan of the house that we just bought, we would lose both houses. We would lose everything. So, and I'm a mom, I have a daughter, we have a child. And so here I am faced with this decision to powerfully invest in myself. To say I was scared was an understatement. And divinely aligned decisions are often paired with fear, of course, and a deep divine knowing that this is the next step. So amongst all of this mentor in particular at the time was offering a scholarship, which of course I applied for because this would take all the worry, all the fears, all of the anxieties totally off my plate. It would make the journey easy, and it would be an absolute no-brainer because I would get all of the codes of this mentor and I'd get it for free, which is great, right? Win, 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 win. And I applied for the scholarship and I didn't get it. And it was like, okay, so that's off the table. What's back on the table is a scary as shit decision, which I know deep down is going to change everything for me. And I know we've all been put in these positions where this is a scary as shit decision, but I know it's going to change everything. And it's your opportunity to really lean in and divinely choose with every ounce of your being the reality that you know is there. And so after a month of deliberating with my husband, the poor guy, he finally got on board and I eventually said yes to that mentor. By the way, I paid that $33,000 off in about 6 months or 7 months, I think it was, because that investment and that choice was like a divine yes that rippled across the universe, and the universe met me at my bravery and my whole life changed. And so I want to talk about the sacred art of money exchange, or the sacred thing that happens when you put everything on the line and you say yes to something. I was speaking to a soul in one of my immersions and they were asking me if I offered scholarships, and I sometimes do on a very rare and exceptional occasion will I ever offer scholarships. And one of the reasons why I don't offer them just willy-nilly is because there is something that happens to you. It's like there is something that is activated and initiated when you put everything on the line, your money, your intentions, everything, and you choose a path. And what happens is you are calibrated. You come to a crossroads in your journey and you have a decision to make. And that decision is a gift, because when you say yes, despite the paralyzing fear, something happens to you. You are fully recalibrated into another layer of leadership that you never thought was available. And it only becomes available when decisions are put in your path that are hard and scary and you freaking choose it anyway. When scholarships are offered, that takes that gift away. And so I was speaking to somebody in one of my immersions about this, who asked if I offered scholarships, and I told her my story, and I told her something sacred happens when you put your lifeline, which is your money, on the line to back yourself in a decision. It's like a new timeline is activated. And I always say this, like, decisions are portals into new timelines. And when you activate that timeline and back it with divine trust in yourself, it's like it almost guarantees that reality will unfold in front of you. This is why scholarships can be dangerous, because they actually take the divine gift of that sacred money exchange away. Now, this is going to be controversial, but I promise you, I come from such a pure energy when I say this. Furthermore, people who really need, or they think they need, a scholarship because in their mind, they're hooked into the story that their reality is scarce and they do not have money. The ones that you really need to consider, are you enabling these storylines, distortions, and anchors to run their life, or are you genuinely going to help this person transcend and overcome? Have to be able to discern that, knowing that these programs are running their life. And if you don't put them in a situation where they get to choose something new and different that will change their reality, you might enable them to perpetuate these narratives that will keep them stuck. And therefore, when they go to launch their business, they will be leading with those distortions and with those anchors, and they will find it very, very, very hard to get momentum. So this is something I really urge you to consider when you are deciding whether to support somebody and give them the gift of a scholarship. Are they going to be able to transcend all of these stories through working with you for free, or are you just enabling them to run their life? Are you not allowing them to step up and choose something different, look at a new identity, and help them rid themselves of this victimhood that keeps them perpetuating the same scarcity? You can't be an empowered leader and a victim at the same time. You can't be calling in wild abundance and feel like, poor me, my life is never going to change. You cannot have the same frequencies simultaneously. So what scenarios and situations are you going to empower people to be in order to shift those out? This is why scholarships can be dangerous if they are not gifted to the right soul who is willing to stop at nothing and put everything on the line to shift out the old distortions, programs, all of the things that are keeping them dense. Furthermore, the other gift that comes from investing in yourself and going through the sacred art of money exchange is you can be in such integrity when you go to charge. And what I mean by that is you are subconsciously so confident in putting your offer out there and backing it with a price because you yourself have paid that amount and then some. So you have to think about, the integrity. Are you in integrity and are you in an alignment when you put an offer out there knowing that you've paid that and you would pay that yourself because you have? Or are you putting something out there that you yourself haven't paid for and wouldn't pay for? Your subconscious mind will feel that lack of alignment because there in and of itself is a lack of integrity because you're saying that you want people to buy something that you yourself wouldn't pay for. So that in and of itself, again, is another gift that you take away if it's not the right person. So I just want to be clear, okay? I don't want you to be like, whoa, this is a bit controversial, Sarah, which it is. I get that. My intention is so pure and only wanting to uplift and empower. And, if you come into my sphere, that is required of you. And it's all about discerning. It's all about knowing that it is not one size fits all, that there are so many variables that come to supporting people for free or paid or whatever the scenario may be. I always lead with generosity. Generosity is one of my greatest virtues and values. I work with only mentors who have those same values. I have friends within my sphere who only have those same values. People who work with me know that that's what I lead with. And so it's not about not giving handouts when you think it's really going to help and support somebody. It's about your ability to discern, are you going to enable them to continue to run the same programs, or are you truly going to shift them to a new paradigm where their life is changed? So you really need to consider what's happening below the surface when you give things, powerful things, away for free. So do it. Be generous. Trust me, generosity is such a beautiful thing the world needs more of, but also discern whether or not you're actually disempowering that person through not allowing them to be calibrated with scary decisions that will also change their life for the better. We interrupt this awesome podcast episode to tell you about my life-changing Quantum Business Academy. If you are ready to take your business to the next levels of abundance and freedom, then you're definitely going to want to hear more. Please don't take my word for it though. Here is one of our alumni sharing their experience.
Wow, where do I even begin with QBA and serotonin and my time in the container? Let's start with knowing that I have the permission to create my wildest, deepest, biggest vision. I had my highest cash day. I completely changed the direction of my business. I landed in my purpose and my passion. I felt like being a part of it all has given me the permission to truly be me and make the deepest impact possible. Yeah, wow. Serotonin and QBA changed my life. It was so deeply healing to be in a space with like-minded people who are service-based, here to literally serve other souls, and to be held in such a space where you can come as you are and you are seen in your unique gifts, your talents, your desires, and to have your vision come to life around other beautiful people is something that I will be forever grateful for. And being led by Sarah in all of her vulnerability, her humor, her loving, unconditional, nurturing ways. Wow. Honestly, wow. If you want to know more, then please head over to my show notes, book a call with me, or you can message me in DMs. Now let's get back to the podcast. So again, there's so many variables. There are so many variables. This is not a black and white situation, but this is a conversation that needs to be had because there are some things that need to be uncovered. And trust me when I say, please always lead with generosity. We are going to be opening and launching a foundation that will actually give a lot of personal development support away to women who have been in abusive situations, who cannot find their way out of it, who are they're in the woods, they can't see the wood for the trees sort of situations. And I know support and handouts are exactly what these humans need. So it's not to say don't give things away for free. We give tons of stuff away for free at Serotonin International. There's heaps of things that are given away for free. This podcast is free. These conversations that I have with you are free. It's all about being able to discern how you're going to calibrate somebody when you're allowing them the gift of making a powerful decisions, or are you actually taking a gift away that will actually enable dense programs to continue to run their lives. So this is a conversation of discernment, conversation of really being able to see what happens behind the scenes when you give powerful things away for free. And it's up to you to decide, are you going to activate and change somebody's life? Or are you going to continue to enable them to run old stories that are keeping them small? So the choice is yours. Please don't misinterpret anything I'm saying here. You know I lead with a generous heart and that everything comes from a place of wanting to shift and change. But this is a world where we are calibrated by what we perceive as contrast, and making scary decisions, trust me, is not contrast. After the gifts I've received through investing in my mentor, it gave me such innate trust in myself and my ability to make scary decisions that I continue to do so. And when I do that, my life changes drastically. Quantum leaping for me, in essence, is my ability to be presented with opportunities that change my life very quickly. And if you don't have the ability to make scary decisions, trust me, it's a muscle you build, and it's about taking the first scary step and choosing it, knowing, having that deep inner divine knowing it is the right path. And when you build that muscle, you will trust yourself more and more and more and more. And you will have the ability to make scarier and scarier and scarier decisions. And this is how your life will change quickly. So you have to consider, are you actually taking that away from somebody when you give something away for free? So you get where I'm coming from. I'm all about giving the gifts, but sometimes the gifts are making the scary as fuck decisions. I say one of my superpowers is that I can make scary as fuck decisions, and I don't ever put people in a situation to make scary as fuck decisions that I have not made 10 times over. The other gift that you were given, and if you truly want to be a coach and you truly want to be in the personal development industry, this is so freaking important. When you are walking a client through the process of making a decision, a scary as fuck decision, I should call it a SAF decision. The most powerful thing that you could do is tell that client, I have been there. I have been there. And guess what happened when I made that decision? My whole life changed. There's nothing more powerful than one of your clients knowing you've walked that path. You are on the hero's journey. You come from a place of being fully embodied because you have personally been there yourself. And that is the very thing that changed your life.
You again take that away from that person. The ability to say, I've been there, I've made those decisions. I know it's scary, but I also know when scary as fuck is also right. And then you lean in and choose, and your whole life right before your eyes changes. And this is how it gets to be. And so again, that whole process is taken away. The ability to say to a client, I've been there and this is what happened when I chose it anyway. And now you can use your life as a living example of how scary as fuck decisions get to be a new way of being. Because if it's a new way of being, your path will be guaranteed. But if you continuously let things steer you off the path, if you continue to let the programs run your life, nothing in your reality will change. And so this is such an important thing to look at when you are supporting souls into newness. So beautiful soul, if anything I have said has been triggering for you today, I want you to look into why. Why has that been triggering for you? Because that is the very wound that could be running your reality and keeping you stuck in the density and the monotony on the hamster wheel, etc., etc., etc. You know I'm coming from love. You know I am coming from generosity. I give. It is one of the main things that lights me up beyond no other. But I also discern when something's going to help empower somebody or if it's actually going to disempower them and enable them to keep running the programs that are running their life. So I ask you to look into this, beautiful soul, whether you're wanting a scholarship yourself personally. And I'm not saying it's wrong, okay? I'm not saying it's wrong to apply, but are you ready to accept the responsibilities that a scholarship gives to you? Are you ready to, despite you potentially not investing, are you ready to step into what it's going to require you to shift into in order to be the powerful leader despite you not paying? And that's okay. There is absolutely no shame, by the way. Absolutely no shame. If something was put in my path and it was going to be given to me for free, I would have to know and trust and believe that the universe is giving that to me as a divine gift. And I also would have to know and discern and believe that I was going to have to calibrate myself to make whatever decision necessary to continue to pave the path into newness. So please know, and I want to, again, this is a controversial conversation. I could have not had it at all, but I have it because I want to illuminate some things for you. Scholarships are an amazingly powerful thing when you are given it with the right intentional energy and you are in the right headspace to do whatever it freaking takes. You know, and examples of this are a lot of people in university who are given scholarships. They want so freaking badly to be given an opportunity. And when they are given that opportunity, they freaking grab it with both hands and they run with it. So if you're in that position and you know the soul is in that position to grab that opportunity with two hands and freaking run with it, that's when you choose. But if they're in the position where they have victim mentality programs running the show, you got to ask yourself, are you going to enable those programs to continue to run? Or is it going to be a situation where they're just going to freaking take the opportunity, run with it with both hands, with all their might, and change their lives? So I also want to be very clear. There is zero shame around the scholarships. It's all very gray. But it's a conversation that needs to highlight some things that could be lurking under the surface and that could be very disempowering if you're giving it to the wrong people. You've seen and heard of many, many great victory stories of amazing humans that have been given scholarships for university and have made great change within their lives. But I've heard the opposite, where people squander opportunities, whether they're getting full ride athletic scholarships or what have you. They squander the opportunities because it's kind of a entitled energy, and people who are entitled below that surface, below the entitlement energy, is a frequency of a victim mentality. Like, it should be me. I shouldn't have to work for it. So again, this conversation is one that I am having with you to highlight and illuminate things to consider. So many variables, so many gray areas, but it's such an important thing for you to look at. Scholarships can be a beautiful, great, empowering thing, a gift to somebody that will change their life if it's the right person. if it's not the right person, it could be such a disempowering thing for a human, and they will not be coded and calibrated the way they need to be in order to step into a profoundly powerful place as a leader. Like I said, when you step into my world, I require you to choose the empowered place. And if a scholarship will help you get there, then I do consider that as an option. If a scholarship will not help you get there, if it will be disempowering because I can see what the programs are that are actually running the show, then it's not something I ever put on the table. I trust that you will take every word I mean for what I mean, and hopefully take the intention of this conversation, which is to ultimately change everybody's life in a potent and powerful way, even if that is through the means of tough love. And I hope you let this illuminate how you get to empower people better on your journey and on your path. And maybe even if you're in the place where you feel it's hard to invest in yourself, maybe you'll look at what these programs are and why and shift them out. Watch my Becoming Magnetic to Money series. It's all free. Those will help you look at the money things that might be running the show. There's lots of resources. Get Abraham Hicks in your ears. What are the things that are perpetuating the same things over and over and over again? And it's your choice. It's always a choice. So again, this is just a conversation to illuminate things. There are many situations where scholarships are life-changing and deeply empowering. And for that, we thank the many generous souls and organizations that are out there giving them away. And conversely, there are also situations where scholarships take a potential gift away from somebody. So it is up to you to discern what that is for yourself and what that is for your clients. That is it for today, my beautiful friend. Thank you so much for listening. And again, if this is triggering, trust me when I say I always come from the purest place of love. I always come from the purest place of wanting every single soul who listens to me to be deeply empowered, knowing that your reality is a choice and everything you experience in it is a choice. And if you feel powerless, ask the universe to show you the programs that are keeping you stuck there. And I promise you, those things will show up. They'll reveal themselves, and then it's up to you to shift them out. If you want to comment on our conversation today, comment below, share with friends, feel free to reach out and message me. I leave you with this, and I leave you with so much love. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening today, beautiful soul. I hope you got so much gold and were activated in such a way that you could step into your highest timeline of abundance and freedom, because it is more than possible for you. If that desire has been planted in your soul, it is so deliberate. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast so that we can get this message into the hearts and ears of more amazing light beings across the world. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so feel free to get in touch on Instagram at sarah.tynan.quantumcoach. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sarah Tynan International. And please don't ever forget, if your desire is there, it's because your destiny is there too. You just have to remember who you are. Bye for now, beautiful.